Okay, so today we have a story of a repeat offender who went and killed somebody about 12 days after they posted bail. Y'all already know how I feel about this, but let's get into the story. But before we do so, do not forget to leave a comment down below. Also, like, subscribe, and hit the thanks. Now, let's get into it. Repeat felon fatally shot a man 12 days after posting bail in a felony gun case. A Chicago man with a significant criminal history shot and killed another man less than 2 weeks after he posted bail in a Class X felony gun case. And, according to the prosecutors, Demel Govin was carrying a stolen firearm when Chicago police arrested him this week to face charges in the murder. On July 12th last year, Chicago cops said Govin tossed a loaded handgun into a bush as he ran from officers in the 7,000 block of South Martin Luther King Drive. I don't know what it is about that particular area, but it seems like there's always crime on that street. And this is anywhere. I don't know. I know there was a comedian, I think it was like Dave Chappelle, who mentioned it, but it's like every time you look, it's only on that particular street where you will have some high crime. I don't get it, but let's continue. Based on his background, which includes convictions for robbery, guns, and narcotics, prosecutors filed the Class X armed habitual criminal case against him. According to court records, Judge Kelly McCarthy allowed him to go home by posting a $4,500 bail deposit, which he did on July 19th. Just 12 days later, on August 1st, Govin met up with friends at an apartment in the 3,500 block of South Rhodes. Later, as they left the building, they crossed paths with 31-year-old Glenn Weston. Prosecutors say surveillance video shows Govin pulling out a handgun and shooting Weston 12 days later, by the way, dead in the building lobby. They also pointed to witness identifications and phone location data as evidence that Govin was responsible for the murder. Chicago cops arrested Govin. When they did, he was carrying a recently stolen handgun in his book bag / backpack. He is now charged with first-degree murder and another count of Class X armed habitual criminal. Judge Barbara Dawkins detained him as a public safety threat at the state's request. Govin has faced armed habitual criminal cases twice before. Prosecutors downgraded the charge to being a felon in possession of a firearm, and he received a 6-year sentence. He faced another armed habitual criminal case in 2022. Judge Carol Howard found him not guilty on all counts. He is the 32nd person accused of participating in a murder or attempted murder in Chicago last year while awaiting trial for a felony. The cases involved at least 48 victims, 17 of them died. Now, this is something that I actually kind of want to talk a little bit about. You have these cases where you will have someone who would get out on bail, okay? And then they'll go and commit these crimes. As this article has said, they will go and commit these crimes, and 17 people so far out of like 48 have died. Okay. So that's one of the things that get me, because I always wonder, it's like, well, how are you guys deciding who gets bail and who doesn't? Because we've seen it in different cities, and we have definitely seen it in different states. The kind of people that would get out. For example, Houston is one of the big ones, okay? In Houston, you would see people who are committing robbery. I seen one dude, he stabbed his girlfriend, and they were like, okay, well, I mean, just make sure you post 10,000 and you're good. What? for stabbing somebody. And I think his was actually less than that, like significantly less, like maybe a couple thousand. But you see that you got people who are DUI driving under the influence, and they'll be like, oh, okay, man, I mean, come on, fine, $500. What? Someone just, I did a video on a case where this was a brutal story. Okay, it was this man, it was a black couple, and they had a kid together. I believe it was a little girl. And what ended up happening was, for some reason, he went and stabbed her like 100 times. He took out her brain, carved out her heart, and all. I mean, it was gruesome. Okay, it was really, really, really bad. I believe that one happened in Houston as well. And the judge was like, yeah, we could grant them bail. And the family's like, whoa. One, his father can afford to get him out if he wants to. He has money, so they're well off, okay? So that's what the parents of the victim were very upset about, because they're like, wait, hold up. He can afford this. Why would you even offer bail to somebody like this? Why would you offer bail to someone who stabbed someone multiple times? We had a case up in California. She ended up getting off for, I believe it was a murder in 2018 of her boyfriend of like 3 weeks. She stabbed him over 100 times, like 108 times, and she claimed it was cannabis that made her do it. And it's like, wait, hold up. I'm confused. And yes, she ended up getting like community service and some probation, and that's it for doing that. Okay, because it was involuntary or whatever. But in this particular case, it was like, wait, how are y'all just allowing bail? And that's what I'm wondering, who's this money going to? The money has to be going to somebody. It can't just be like, well, the bail bondsman. Nah, man, because this doesn't make any sense. And why is it that the rules are so relaxed? Why are you so okay with letting criminals back out on the street? Let me know what y'all think about this story down below.